very much indeed.
Thank you very much. You now call Senator Thomas Byrne. 5 minutes.
agus tá sé chu fáilte bhanara isteach sa seanad inneomh agus deire hir hail tádí spóracht ar siúil sa seanad deire hir hail tá ráit is téinte ag an rialtas maidir le Commóra 1960 agus gan éon doubt gan éon áras ar chorbe seo an Commóra is táhachttaí sa de mlíne atá muid ag siúil tríd faoi láthair. The 1916 Rising is the most important commemoration that this country has in this period, in this decade of commemorations. Let there be no doubt about that whatsoever. And I would like to see 1916 as the primary focus of what the government and what the state, and particularly the state and what the people of the nation celebrate over the next 10 years. Yes, we must be inclusive, and yes, we must look at all traditions. But in doing that, we must not dilute any tradition. We must respect each and everybody's tradition. My tradition certainly is connected to 1916, and I believe, and many historians believe, that it is the most important focal point. But that does not stop me from attending Remembrance Day events, which are not directly part of my tradition, as far as I know, and other people are only finding out about their relatives' involvements in World War I at the moment. I've attended a number of them over the weekend. But when we talk about inclusivity, when we talk about respecting all traditions, we must not dilute any of those traditions. And that's my one concern about the commemoration of 1916. I was disappointed last night, and I expressed this on social media in terms of the website, in terms of the video. It does look, although it's well designed graphically, etc., no doubt about that, it does look cobbled together at the last minute. It does look as though little thought has gone into it. And as my colleague Senator Daly informs me, and he's a member of the committee, I don't know what their role is at the moment, because they certainly seem to be sidelined by the parties in government. I sincerely hope that that cross-party committee has a key and central role. Some changes have been made, but I mean, it was disappointing to watch a video about commemorating 1916, and we see more of the Queen and we see more of David Cameron, and notwithstanding the importance of the events that they took part in, I'm not taking away from that, but there were men who signed the proclamation who I think do deserve to be recognised. And I heard some of what Senator McConnell said, and I think I picked him up right, that we must be proud of what we did. I mean, the United States can commemorate their war of independence, can commemorate their independence, without in any way affecting their excellent relationship with the United Kingdom, but without dragging the United Kingdom always back into the fray at all times. They can have a very close relationship with the UK, while recognising that, you know, in an historic period there was a war, and they did fight, and people did stand for ideals there, and we must look at these things in the same light. And I think the people, when we're commemorating other events which are of huge importance, we must look at them on their own as well, and the importance that they had, because while they happened at the same time, the people involved in different events may have had different objectives. In some cases they had similar objectives. I do wish the Minister well. I think the government, belatedly, has come to look at this. I do have confidence in Senator Maurice Manning as chairman of the committee. I think I see Senator Martin Manstra, former minister and former senator, is on the committee as well. I don't think he's vice chair, but I would suggest that if you're appointing a vice chair minister, that Martin Manstra would be a very good one to have, and would definitely reflect the traditions that are there. But that the minister maybe can address that in terms of what I'm saying there. So, in terms of the national events, the one thing that I have to say I thought was positive is the list of capital projects that are being funded at this stage. I hope there will be more, but certainly they are positive and they are welcome. I would like to draw to the Minister's attention, as indeed others will have, and certainly in the public consultation period. The public consultation period is welcome. My difficulty with it, and I expressed this last night, is that it seems to be very last minute that we're asking the public for their views when we've had a committee going on. But look, let's hope these things work out. We had all sorts of rows before the 2000 millennium, etc., that we weren't doing enough and all that. So that tends to happen in the political sphere. But it is important that the government does all it can. But I would draw the Minister's attention to the Battle of Ashburn, which was the most important battle of the Easter week, which took place outside of Dublin. There is a non-party committee in Ashburn, which is it's a community group in Ashburn, which is planning a commemoration. I think it deserves to be commemorated as part of the national celebrations and not just the local one. It was the most important battle outside Dublin. and indeed it was held at the end of Easter week, towards Easter Friday of that week. So that was an important battle, and I think it deserves to be commemorated in a national fashion as well. It won't interfere with any of the other celebrations that are already marked out, and I certainly would encourage the community in Ashbourne, emphasise the community. I don't have any direct involvement in this whatsoever, as I've given assistance to them, as I'm sure every other politician has, that the Minister will listen to what's been there. But I wish the Minister well. This is a hugely important job, but let's be proud of what our forefathers achieved. Let's recognise that they achieved that. Let's recognise also the progress that's been made and the future that we hold, but never forgetting the supreme sacrifice that was made at the time, and that's what we're commemorating in 1916. Those ideals, that sacrifice, and the words of the proclamation, and the actions of the signatories of the proclamation, and those who fought at that time. And I remember my own relative, Michael Hillard, who later became a minister. He was too young to be put into Frongach camp. He escaped back into it, actually, as I understand the story to be at the time. But actually, that calls to mind, he was extremely young, he was about 13, but the leaders of the rising were exceptionally young. Eamon de Valera was one of the oldest, I think, at the time. And I think the sacrifice that those young people made, I think, should be reflected. I think it is being reflected as the government have talked about the importance of youth. But it's so important to remember how young they were at the time.
Thank you, Senator Byrne. Senator Michael Cummins.